All right, if you've completed your texting compliance and you've added phone numbers to EveryChat, you are ready to start using our texting campaigns feature. And this is going to give you access to all sorts of possibilities like upselling, service reminders, past due payment collections, review invitations, all sorts of stuff. And this is where a lot of companies using EveryChat find a lot of value, aside from the general concept of using texting on marketing, using EveryChat's inbox to pull everything into one spot. There's a lot of value in EveryChat regardless, but companies have seen a lot of value with this feature. But let me mention a caveat, which is as long as you do it correctly, because this feature can also get you in trouble. And I want to get the less fun part of this video out of the way before we start talking about how to use it. Because if you use this to, say, buy a list off of Google, buy a contact list off of Google, and then you import them into EveryChat, and then you start bulk texting that list, you will get in trouble that way. You will get your phone number banned, and you might land into legal trouble if you message the wrong person, or just in general, when you're messaging people that have never interacted with you before, who just in general haven't necessarily opted into texting, you're going to run into some problems. So when it comes to texting campaigns, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you keep it to your customer list only. EveryChat doesn't allow texting to non-customers, non-leads, and there is a time frame as to which leads can be texted. If these customers have been stagnant since a year, maybe even beyond 6 months, you're getting into that time frame where you just can't, it's not advisable to text them anymore. If they are many, many years old and they haven't interacted with you, consider those leads dead, and you can still maybe email them. Email has different rules, but texting in this case is generally a no-go after 6 months to a year of being stagnant and not interacting with your company at all. So just kind of keep that in mind. So where you're going to see the most value with texting campaigns regardless is when you're interacting with customers. So just keep that in mind. When we talk about text campaigns, we are specifically talking about targeting groups of your customer list and using tags to build lists around your customers so you can target people specifically, because generally the most value, the most impactful, and call it the campaigns that perform the best are the ones where you take your customer list and you break them down into smaller sub lists to target them based on maybe the services that they're currently enrolled in, maybe the services that they're not currently enrolled in, that would be an upsell, or maybe even the services that or the customers that tend to be the easiest and the best to interact with. Those might go on a review request campaign list or a review request tag, where then okay, these are the people that we want to target to collect reviews from. So that's the general idea. And of course, you can create whatever list you want. Tags are, of course, dynamic, so you can add tags and create whatever tags you need and then build your own custom lists. So with that out of the way, let's talk about how you create a campaign here in EveryChat. So to create a campaign, you'll click Create a Campaign, and then this will take you into the wizard. And the wizard is going to give you several different options, at least here on the main screen. You're going to have the option to create a new campaign, use a draft, or use a template. We're going to talk about templates here in just a second, because this is a very valuable feature, especially as you're sending service reminders, which is going to be the example that I give in this video. Service reminders are one of those things where you're probably not going to have to rewrite the message every time, or at the very least, it's not something where the message is going to differ wildly from campaign to campaign. So you might save a template, and with that template, you just get to reuse it over and over again without having to rewrite the message each time. So let's move forward with this example. And in the example that I'm going to give is we have downloaded a list from our CRM off the dispatch board. We've uploaded them into EveryChat with the daily dispatch list tag, and then now we're going to target them inside the product. So let's create a service reminder campaign, and we are going to select the phone number that we've added to EveryChat. We're going to click Next Step, and then we are going to send to a tagged group. Send to individuals is you having to pick each individual person manually. A tagged group is going to pull everybody in with that tag on their account. So from this point, we're going to scroll down, and these would represent the tags that you've added to your account already. So I have, call it 5 or 6 tags on this account. I am going to click the daily dispatch list. This is going to be the tag that's assigned to everybody who came from my dispatch board for my main CRM that does my scheduling, my invoicing, my billing, that sort of thing. I'm going to click next. And then now we're going to write the message. So we're basically almost done already. So most of the work comes in the preparation for the campaign, downloading the list from your CRM, importing them into EveryChat with the tag. And then after this, it's just 3 or 4 steps, and then your campaign is ready to go out. So from this point, we're going to create the campaign. I could say, hey, first name, and then I'm not going to write the whole message here, but then you could say, whatever the message is down here. And then here's where some features are hidden. They're not always used, which is why they're hidden, but they are going to still be valuable. So you can click See All Campaign Options down here. And this is not going to be accessible to people. This is just in my testing account here, so you can disregard that. But what you can do is you can change the opt-out message on your campaigns. This is legally required, so that's why there's no option for you to remove text to stop or text stop to unsubscribe, but you can change it if you don't like just the generic text stop to unsubscribe. You could do, by the way, if you want it to sound more real and sound less like an automated message, or you can just change it to don't want us to text you, just to sound a little bit more human, so to say. But what I did want to talk about down here was these 2 features right here. So specifically from the standpoint of sending service reminders, you might use this tag quite frequently. And one of the things that you want to make sure that it doesn't happen is that you send a service reminder out today, and then you're going to reuse that tag tomorrow. You want to make sure that everybody who was on your list today doesn't get included on the list tomorrow as well. So what you can say is after this campaign goes out, remove the daily dispatch list tag from their account after they receive the message. And that way, tomorrow when you send out the next list of service reminders, you're starting with a fresh list and nobody currently has the dispatch tag on their account. So it's a fresh list. Nobody's going to be merged in or, accidentally merged into tomorrow's list. Fresh list. And then from that point, if you want to reuse this campaign in the future, you can click Save Campaign as Template. And after you do so, if you go to create a new campaign, as we looked on the other screen, you'll find this template underneath the Templates tab. And what that Templates tab is going to do is it's going to save all of your settings, including the message, tag removal, and the tag itself as to who you're targeting in this campaign. So you should effectively have to do nothing other than maybe just slightly tweak your message if you need to, but otherwise you're good to schedule it or send it out now. That's the gist of how you create a campaign in EveryChat. The only other step to this is just specifying just confirming that you're ready to send out the message. That's all it is. After that, your campaign is ready to be delivered, and there's nothing more that you need to do. The thing that I will mention about campaigns is that once you click send, you will have 2 minutes to cancel that campaign if you change your mind. So you do have a 2-minute delay, and then your first batch of messages will go out, and we batch these messages by 200. So if your campaign is more than 200 people, the first 200 will receive the message within 2 minutes, and then we will have another minute or 2 delay between the next batch. And the reason why we do that is to keep your business not necessarily in compliance, but just to minimize the number of texts that go out in a very, very short period of time. In addition to this, there is a strategic benefit to it as well, where if you send a campaign out and your first batch just doesn't perform at all, you still have an opportunity to cancel that campaign and make sure that the rest of those don't go out because you're realizing, this campaign is not performing as well as we hoped it, as well as we hoped it was. So that gives you the opportunity to cancel it and start over if that campaign is not living up to the performance that you were expecting. So so that's how the EveryChat texting campaign feature works. If you have questions for me, please let me know. There are some additional features here within the campaign where we will track the response rate, the number of people who unsubscribed, and then you also have the feature to where you can send a follow-up to people within your campaign. So if they don't have this replied marker above them, they will be eligible to have a follow-up or to receive a follow-up. So that's another feature that you can use within the campaign to get more value out of it. And then you will also see right now this campaign only had one recipient, but if you had a bunch of recipients, they would all show up down here and you can see who received it, who unsubscribed, who didn't receive it. Maybe there was an invalid phone number on their account. You will see all of that information on this screen. So if you have any questions for me, as I mentioned, please let me know. This is everything that you need to know about the campaign feature. So please let me know how I can help and how I can help you get the most out of this feature that we have, because it's been a very successful option within the product for a lot of different companies.